In today's Necron video, we're going to compare Imotekh the Stormlord versus the Necron Overlord in our quest to find out what is the best HQ. It's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. And if you're new to the channel and you want to keep up to date with the Wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss an upload. And remember, I upload on a Monday, Thursday and Saturday every week. Okay, so it's time for Imotekh the Stormlord to face off against the Necron Overlord in this fun and hopefully informative series of videos where I compare Necron HQs. Imotekh the Stormlord is still our most expensive character in the Codex, even with chapter approved points reductions. Now, I used to play Imotekh the Stormlord even when he was almost the same points as two Overlords. I used to find him a really cool character to play, so let's find out if he's worth the points now after chapter approved. Okay, so time to pit Imotekh the Stormlord versus the Necron Overlord. Okay, so first of all, the points. Imotekh the Stormlord comes in at 160 points with his Staff of the Destroyer. The Overlord, however, comes in at 94 points with the equivalent Staff of Light. That gives the first point to the Overlord. When it comes to the stats line, there isn't too much difference. The Overlord has 5 wounds, whereas Imotekh has 6. The Overlord has a 3+ save, and Imotekh has a 2+ save. That gives Imotekh the Stormlord a point when it comes to the stats line. Stupid thing. However, Imotekh the Stormlord is a named character and the Overlord isn't. Imotekh is stuck in the Sotek dynasty and the Overlord can choose any dynasty it likes. Not only that, it can also choose his own relic. That's definitely a point to the Overlord. Now, when it comes to the weapons, Imotekh is stuck with his Staff of the Destroyer. He can't change that. That's basically his relic. It's basically a beefed up Staff of Light. It's 18 inches when shooting at strength 6, -2 AP and does a damage of 2. Plus it has a flamer type of option, pretty good for Overwatch. It's okay in close combat at strength 6, -3 and 2 damage, but he is fixed with that weapon. And that's what the Overlord has, options, including the Void Scythe, which is strength 10, -4 AP and does 3 damage. It is -1 weapon skill, however, the Overlord is still going to hit on a 3. Plus he has the option to take relics. So the point here is going to go to the Overlord. Now, when it comes to war gear, the Overlord can take a Resurrection Orb. It's still pretty expensive and a once-use only piece of war gear. However, in smaller points games, it could be pretty useful. You don't have as many points to take the units on the table, so spending 35 points to give you an extra reanimation roll could be pretty useful. Did I say that twice? And it's for this reason I'm going to give the Overlord a point for the Resurrection Orb. The Overlord's points are starting to rack up now, however, we have to look at the abilities. Both units have Living Metal, however, Imotekh's Living Metal is D3 wounds back as opposed to 1 from the Overlord. That's definitely a point for Imotekh. Now, both units have My Will Be Done, however, Imotekh can do it twice on 2 units per Necron turn, albeit only on Sotek units. +1 to hit, advance and assault rolls for an infantry unit within 6 inches of the character. The Overlord can take the stratagem, the Pharaoh's Will, which will allow him to do 2 My Will Be Dones as well. However, it's 1 command point and Imotekh gets it for free. So I'm going to give this point to Imotekh the Stormlord. However, Imotekh is the Lord of the Storm, possibly the most fun Necron rule we have. Once per game at 48 inches you can call the storm. You pick an enemy unit, not a character, and then you roll a dice. That unit takes that many mortal wounds. A 1 does foul, however, you are able to use a command point and re-roll that if you want to. Plus, any units within 6 inches of the unit you targeted including characters, takes D3 mortal wounds on a roll of a 6. A lot of fun and pretty useful, especially if you're against a horde army, and earning Imotekh the Stormlord another point. Plus, Imotekh the Stormlord is a grand strategist, earning us 1 free command point. As long as we're battle forged, we have Imotekh the Stormlord in our army, earning Imotekh another point. Imotekh the Stormlord also has Blood Swarm Nano Scarabs, allowing any Sotek Flayed 1 units within 12 inches of him re-roll the ones to hit. Now, Flayed ones are generally better off in the Novok dynasty. The problem that we have with this particular rule in the Sotek dynasty from Imotekh is you have to be quite close to Imotekh. Now, Imotekh moves pretty slow across the table, so it's very situational whether you'll use this special ability. However, I did give 1 point for the Resurrection Orb for the Overlord, so it's only fair that I give Imotekh a point for this special rule. So 6-4 to Imotekh. However, Nano Scarabs are pretty situational, and you are paying the points for that particular ability. Imotech's weapon is pretty decent, however the Overlord has more weapon options, and he's not locked into the Sotek dynasty. Not only that, you can take more than one Overlord. I think the key thing here is to have a look at Imotech's abilities, and if you feel you're going to make use of them, it's definitely worth considering. The 2+ save and 4+ invulnerable save combined with living metal makes Imotekh one of our most survivable foot HQs that we have. If you're having trouble with snipers, Imotekh could be worth considering. The 2+ save for those sniper shots that come through that aren't mortal wounds, very good. And then hopefully with 6 wounds, enough wounds to stop him from dying in 1 round of shooting. Then you have the D3 living metal. Of course, keeping your HQ out of line of sight of snipers is the best way to keep them alive. With the ability to do My Will Be Done twice on 2 Tesla Immortal units, +1 to the hit roll means they'll explode on a 5. That's very useful, and he gets to do that for free. Plus he gives us a free commands point if we're battle forged, and if you take Hyperlogical Strategist as a warlord trait, you can also regain command points during the game. Imotekh is certainly very useful, but for 160 points, Imotekh is definitely a points investment. Are you willing to invest in Imotekh? Let me know in the comments box below. And if you're not subscribed yet, start now, hit the Imotekh beer icon. And if you want to see my previous best Necron HQ video, the Necron Overlord versus the Necron Lord, then check out that video just there. Beam me up!